I took the entire interview in the direction that I want to. I never let the interviewing officer to control my interview. In fact, as the name itself indicates, it is very simple. Just word association test. Associate the word. What I was like, oh my god, all 60 I had completed with a very beautiful sentences. It is not about practicing so many things, but it is about knowing what you need to do. It may create a bad impression in GTO. Why the hell is this guy is alone standing in the right structure? And when so as far as the concept is clear in your mind, GTO will become very much easier. In fact, 5 people took the plank and went to the left structure in the beginning, and 4 people took the bully and went to the middle structure, and I was the only guy who was holding the rope and standing in the right structure.
Alright guys, welcome to SSB Dux recommendation channel, and today we have got Mr. Ravi, and so congratulations Ravi.
Thank you.
Welcome to SSB Dux Academy.
Thank you.
So Ravi, yes, let me tell you guys, he got recommended in his first attempt being a fresher. Alright, so Ravi, let's hear out so that many aspirants would be wanting to know, when they really want to know how can a fresher get recommended, and how did SSB Dux Academy help you? Alright, so first introduce yourself and let's go about it.
Yeah, sure, Rishabh. I actually basically belong to a very remote village called Manasi in the western Ghats of Karnataka, and I have done my graduation in mechanical engineering from SDIT Bangalore, and I have passed out in 2019. After that, I have started working as a design engineer for on a contract basis for National Highway Authority of India, and in fact, I've started preparing for these SSB and defense exams ever since I joined engineering. In fact, after that, it came to reality in my very first attempt. In fact, I would say that, as you told, I made it in my very first attempt. Yeah, that is true. And that is all because, I met a mentor like Rajan sir from SSB Dux Academy, who has really molded my personality as far as the SSB is concerned, and also as far as my personality in my personal life as well. So in this way, Rajan sir has really helped me to achieve my dream, achieve my goal in my very first attempt.
Alright, so Ravi, what was your motivation to join armed forces? Like anybody from your family are in forces, or is it just your self motivation?
Yeah, let me tell you my first impression when I decided to become a soldier. In fact, I think it was way back in 2009 when I was in 7th standard. Till then, I knew absolutely nothing about the officers in the armed forces. In fact, I knew there is army, there is navy, and there is air force, and I was not knowing the difference between the Jawans or other rank officers and the officers. In fact, but during my 7th standard, I came across an officer in Bangalore. In fact, I met him accidentally. I mean, that man was my first impression. In fact, the way he dressed himself, the way he carried himself, the way he talked, I mean, the discipline, the type of discipline they carry him in themselves, it all made me analyze. I mean, it all made me realize that they are, something a class apart. In fact, so that was my first impression, and ever since then, like when I started searching more on the armed forces and how to become an officer in the Indian Armed Forces, I got to learn a lot about armed forces, which had really, which had really the positive impact on my personality. As far as, for example, a very little things like the integrity, the loyalty, their selfless service to the nation, and their sacrifice. These kind of things, like whenever I used to listen some of the stories of brave soldiers, these kind of the stories used to motivate me a lot. I used to get goosebumps all the time hearing to their stories and all, and then I decided that I want to become a soldier. I want to be like them.
Alright,
Yeah.
Alright Ravi, good to hear. So tell all the aspirants out there you got recommended for which entry and from which board, and how was your experience?
Yes, friends. I got recommended from 12 SSB on December 4th. In fact, that was on Navy Day, and
great.
that was my INET. I had cleared INET exam, and it was all pretty good experience. In fact, even though before I met Rajan sir, I was practicing by myself along with my some other defense aspirants through a Telegram channel or WhatsApp groups and all. I felt somewhere that was not enough at all. To the to what exactly the armed forces are actually wanting from a candidate is. And yeah, after meeting Rajan sir, I felt that even before going to SSB only, I felt that I have those qualities, I have those whatever the standards that they are looking in from the aspirants, that I have it. So I with all that, yeah, I made it.
That's great. So Ravi, what was your mindset before you went out for the interview? Being a fresher, what was anything going on in your head? Any dilemma, any apprehensions, or did you limit yourself?
Yeah, it used to be. In fact, I would again, I would want to tell you in detail. In fact, because earlier, like whenever we used to have a mock interviews with the friends, among ourselves, like I used to get the reviews. Like every time I used to elaborate the answers as far as the interview is concerned. I used to take more time on explaining the things or the stuff, whatever the question being asked. I used to give more answers, in fact. But I told you, after meeting the Rajan sir, I had this mindset, man. Like whatever the question they used to ask, be crisp and clear, answer to the question. Don't elaborate it until and unless they ask you. They question back you. So unless and until if they don't cross question you, you just answer to the question, to the point, whatever being asked, analyze the question. And also I knew that since I'm an engineer, I'm going for a technical entry. I knew there'll be many questions, technical questions will be asked in the interview. And to which sir told me one thing, like whatever the technical question is being asked, take your time, don't answer. Even if you know the correct answer, take your time, take 10 or 20 seconds to analyze the question, then only answer. This has really helped me to crack all the technical questions, in fact, in my interview. And also, sir told me before I went for the SSB, sir told me one thing, that don't let the interviewing officer to lead your or control your interview. Rather, you take the interview in the direction that you want to take. And I had that one thing in my mind. In fact, I would love to tell all of you that I took the entire interview in the direction that I want to. I never let the interviewing officer to control my interview. In fact, every question was used to ask only regarded my PIQ, as far as my PIQ is concerned.
So guys, I think you would have learned three things out here. The first thing is be crisp and clear. And second thing is patience. And third thing, PIQ. So yes, Ravi, you have given certain vital points. Now let me ask you about how did we help you in changing your personality, which you had mentioned already. Personality, then coming to PPNDT, that is stage 1, and psych test, and what feedback you got and how did you improve on it. Then interview part, and you also mentioned that to how to take the interview direction towards your PIQ. So, and after that about your GTO day 1 and day 2. If you could share your experience, it will be easy for many candidates out there to understand.
Yeah, sure, Rishabh. Here also I'd like to keep it in a very crisp and clear way that I learned from SSB Dux. In fact, before joining the Dux, before meeting Rajan sir, before meeting the Dux team, in fact, the one review that everywhere I used to get was I was a bit impulsive, especially as far as the stage 1 is concerned. And after that, when I joined the free PPTT session by Rajan sir, which used to happen on every Monday morning, and let me tell you guys, I was ready for the stage 1 even before I actually joined the Rajan sir class. In fact, he had taught us how to clear stage 1. Even if somebody is not yet joined this SSB Dux Academy, I was so clear in that part. In fact, so as far as my PPT is concerned, as I told you, I was a bit impulsive, and later on I got to learn a lot of things regarding like how to participate in GD, how to put up your points, how to create a window, how to put yourself in a small window that creates a, especially during the PPTT and all. And that is how I learned. And also earlier I used to make a lot of story with extra added masalas. In fact, I always used to try, I always used to put some extra positivity which is not actually there in the the given picture.
So yes guys, remove that masala
Yes.
out of the whole package.
Yeah. And the thing which I learned here is that when you see the picture, you will be given 30 seconds, as you know that, and observe the picture properly. Whatever is there, the background, the foreground, everywhere, observe it, have a keen sight, and later on you write a story according to that. You imagine yourself in that picture and you write a story. And it need not be all the time, some Herculean task or some extra Superman task which is required. Make a simple story and narrate it well, because you will get a lot of time after writing the story. Practice yourself and practice within you and narrate it very well. And also during discussion, in fact, the one thing which I learned was that it's always better to avoid the fish market. Even if you can't express your ideas, you wait for your window, you will get the window. So try to put up your points 1 or 2 times in the discussion.
So let me ask you one thing here. How did you practice your narration? Did you go in front of a mirror and speak and practice, you had this natural talent of going on?
No, in fact, not that natural talent. Even though I was good at these kind of things that I used to do in during my college days and all, but not as far as the psychology or the PPTD is concerned. I never used to have that in my life. But after once I come across these kind of stuffs in my life, like I used to participate, and I used to get participate in extra the PPTD sessions, which was organized by this academy as well as with our friends group. And apart from that, in order to improve my narration and with the modulation and with the expression, facial expression, I used to in fact practice in front of the mirror. That really helped me a lot.
So you say that even the free PPNET also give you certain guidance and help you in getting screened in your first attempt.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go with the second part, that is psych test.
Yeah.
How did you prepare and how did SSB Dux help you? And yes, your feedback after your psych test, and were you happy, and what changes you made after that?
Yes, Rishabh. As far as the psychology is concerned, let me tell you what blunder I used to make earlier. For example, WAT, take word association test. Let me be very honest guys here. Earlier I used to take more than 30 seconds to even think what to write. While practicing myself, I used to think more than 30 seconds, but in actual SSB you won't get 30 seconds. You will hardly get 15 seconds to write
That is like read as well as write.
Right, read as well as write within 15 seconds.
Yes.
But at home, no, I never done more than 30 or 40 watts in my practice session and all. I used to take more than 30 seconds to even think what to write, what not to write. And one thing I had in my mind was that always try to bring out some positivity in every words as far as the VAT is concerned. But that is not the actual scenario that I have learned. That what I learned from Rajan sir is that, as the name itself indicates, it is very simple. Just word association test. Associate the word, whatever the word is given, you just associate that word whichever comes to in your mind. That's it. And because of that, I was able to complete all 60 watts in my SSB, actual SSB for the first time, in fact. So I was extremely happy that time when I had completed all 60 watts without even thinking. I didn't know how that all 60 words went on, and after that when they told that it is the last word, I was like, oh my god, all 60 had completed with a very beautiful sentences. And also it is not about always making a grammatical sentences, and it's just about association. Whatever it comes to your mind, looking at one word, you just have to associate it and write it. That's it. And apart from that, in psychology, like the SDs and
SRT and TAT.
SRT
Yes.
and TAT. Yeah, in fact, SRT also I used to, take more time to write and take more time to think and write. In fact, while during my practice sessions and all. But after that, I've learned, how to crisp and clear. Imagine myself in that situation after reading the situation. Imagine yourself in that situation. What would you do? It need not be again Herculean task. If you were there, what would you do?
That's so one advice from Ravi here is be practical.
That's it.
All right.
Be practical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now coming to
And,
TAT.
that again, yeah, in my again I
And
would
there's
like
a blank
to,
picture also.
yeah, there's a blank picture also.
Yes.
And what mistake that I used to do earlier was that again in that every tat I used to bring out some extra positivity. Even if there's a negative sequence, I still used to get some, try to get some extra positivity, add some masala and some Herculean task and all. But no, that's not the scenario. What exactly what exactly I did was in that just I wrote simple stories. I mean, I would say that below neutral stories. In fact, all stories were neutral. Just again, imagine yourself in that particular picture. What would you do? Again, it need not be any great Superman tasks and all. You just have to write a very neutral stories. In fact, that is what I learned. In fact, that is the review that I got received from Rajan sir after writing my psych assessment in Dux Academy. I had received these kind of crisp and clear in every. As for psychological test, I had received my own personal reviews and I worked on it, and that really helped me to. I was satisfied. In fact, after my psychology test got over in SSB, I was totally satisfied. I never ever had that satisfaction while practicing at home and all. But at that day on in actual SSB, I was satisfied.
So one last question regarding Psych, Ravi. So did you practice anything before going to SSB, say about 50, 60 stories, 5-6 sets of VAT, SRT?
No.
Did you do certain things?
Yeah, earlier, like when I had started preparing for SSB, I used to make this. I used to, practice VAT, I used to practice SRTs and all. But later on, it is not about practicing. In fact, that would help you to, fasten your timings. In fact, but I don't think so. That will help you to enhance or enhance your thinking process or the personality or the thought process. But yeah, after joining the academy, I would say that again, it is not about practicing so many things, but it is about knowing what you need to do, what you need to write.
All right.
That's it. It's very simple stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about the interview part. So how did being Rajan sir being the overall mentor, and to guide you throughout. So how did you face interview in your actual SSB, and what did you learn from our academy?
There is no difference at all. In fact, I would say.
Right.
Because my actual interview was taken 1 month ago before my actual SSB was there, by Rajan sir. That is the same way that my actual interview had happened in my actual SSB as well. I felt no difference at all. Whatever the type of questions that Rajan sir had asked me, and whatever the way sir used to grill me on my technical questions, or analyzing the PIQ, whatever, and the questions based on my PIQ, those questions only. In fact, and as I told you earlier, don't let the interviewing officer to control your or lead your interview. You take the interview in the direction that you want to. And I was confident in my PIQ. In fact. And I was so confident in my PIQ. Whatever I had written, I knew about it, and I was honest with all those stuff. I had written in my PIQ, and every single question was related to my PIQ only.
Right.
I was able to answer it.
So did you get any special classes on PIQ from Dux Academy, or?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. In fact, when I had submitted my PIQ on the very first day when I joined Dux. That was reviewed by Rajan sir itself, and he told me what to write and what not to write. In fact, in the sense what not to write, in the sense the things whichever I used to write in a manner like you need to write
rearranged, right?
Rearrangement,
modified, all right.
Modifications.
That's great. So tell me, Ravi, how was your GTO in actual SSB, and how did our academy help you in gaining that knowledge and concept which you are talking about? And please explain to all our aspirants how knowledge and concept plays an important role, and also how to be an assertive candidate.
Yes, Rishabh. As far as the indoor tasks are concerned in GTO, that is GD and GPE, there are quite a few things which we need to keep in our mind. And for example, if with respect to GD, like the elements, like few elements like the knowledge does matters a lot. I mean, it plays an important role. So to put up valid points throughout the GD. And apart from that, I also felt like how well you coordinate with the group members. That plays an important role. And as you said, the one thing which I learned from the Dux Academy, how to be an assertive, that really helped me to get along with the group. In fact, that is what helped me to have a good coordination with the group. In fact, making understand the people about your points, and also respecting the views of others, and making them understand like why it is not right or why it is right.
Okay.
So that plays an important
So
role.
as you have told already, the indoor task needs to be pretty much related to concept and the knowledge, as well as being assertive, a good listener, and as well as a good executor out there. Now let's talk about the outdoor part. We have heard your stories that you started doing GTO and practicing alone. So yeah, please tell about this.
So it was quite a fun experience. In fact, earlier I thought GTO is because I had gone to SSB. I never gone to SSB earlier. This is my first attempt. I thought there will be n number of structures, and I have to concentrate, like whatever the academies, different academies like SSB preparing academies are showing the different structures. I need to focus on those, because I thought these are the structures which is going to be in the actual SSB, but that's not the case. And this is I used to get myself dilemma that okay, whether to study that or whether to study this from these YouTube videos and all. But at the end, it is not about how many puzzle you solve, how many puzzles you are able to solve. It's about how well you know the logic behind any kind of.
You mean
puzzles.
to say that content as well as the technique to solve the task is important. So this is one advice from Ravi to all the aspirants out there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
It is not about. And again, knowing the concept very well, and it is all about again the logic. And for example, as far as the helping materials are concerned, it is not about where you are going to or how well you are. It is all about like how well you can use those materials all the time. So as far as the concept is clear in your mind, GTO will become very much easier. In fact, that is the one thing which I had fun in my entire GTO.
So can you please share an experience of your GTO? I mean, what you did in your actual SSB, so that it will be more easier for candidates to understand.
I'll tell you what happened in my PGT3. In fact, okay, in PGT3 you have to go from first structure to second, and second to third structure, and second structure will be a single structure. So what had happened was that again in our group we were 10, and what happened when we started PGT3 was 5 people took the plank and went to the left structure in the beginning, and 4 people took the bully and went to the middle structure, and I was the only guy who was holding the rope and standing in the right structure. Because I felt that when we started, I just analyzed, there is a solution from the right structure, but even though it was a bit complicated, there's only one solution which was available from PGT3. That was we have to start from the right structure. But everyone got distracted, and everyone got divided. Everybody are there. I was alone doing something, holding my ropes and doing something. I knew there is the solution, but at last I had this fear in my mind that since everybody are there, am I going to make it? Like, it may create a bad impression in GTO. Why the hell is this guy is alone standing in the right structure, and when every group is together and doing something in the left and third, the first right and the
first
left
two
and
structures.
First two structures. And trust me, and later on, GTO waited for 5-6 minutes, and when my other teammates, they got to know that there is no other solutions on the first two structures, they all came to me in the very first structures, and that was really fun. And in fact, we had the solutions in that structure.
So you mean to say the concept out there which you learned from Dux Academy helped you to gauge?
So in fact, it improves the logical thinking. As soon as you see the structure, you will be able to imagine like, okay, which helping material works and which is the best structure to start with.
All right, Ravi, that's so nice of you, and as you have told, you have learned these things from SSB Dux, and it's great to hear about it. So if you could just brief out how it's helping you in daily life, being assertive, and how Rajan sir has been the mentor throughout your life. I mean, how he's going to help you in being a changed person, which you already mentioned.
Yeah. Regarding that, Rishabh, I would say that there's a saying like when you hit the nail on the head, it's never too late or never too early. You get what you deserve, and to do that, you need a better tool to shape your future as far as your career is concerned. And I'm honored that I met a mentor like Rajan sir. In fact. Which who really had a positive impact on my personality, and I could see the development in myself, like for example, very little things like physical fitness. I've been involving in various physical fitness like activities, which in turn helping me to have a positive energy throughout the day.
Okay.
So it is not only about the SSB stuff, but overall personality. So that's what I learned, and I admire from SSB Dux Academy.
Thank you so much, Ravi. And one last question. Any suggestion you would like to give it to our other aspirants?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not that, I'm not in that level to give any suggestion, but still what I felt, every defense aspirants, I know quite a few defense aspirants who wants to wear those uniforms are still thinking of what to do and how to do, but not many of the people are not taking the step, not taking the initiative. There's a saying, you don't have to be greater to get started, but you do have to get started to become a great person. So many people are not actually doing those things what it actually needs to clear the SSB or wear those uniforms. I suggest everybody to find out one mentor who will actually shape your personality. In fact, who will find out your flaws, find out your shortcomings, and help you to have that positive attitude, have that positive the personalities as far as the SSB and the life is concerned. I strongly believe in that, because only a teacher can actually help you to sail across all the achievements that you have, or all the goals that you have in your life. So stay positive. Be positive all the time, have the patience, have perseverance all the time, and practice if at all, like you need to, as far as the knowledge is concerned, because your knowledge also plays matter, not the psychological parts. What I'm trying to tell you is, as far as the lecture 8 and GD is concerned, you need to have a sound knowledge, armed forces, about the current affairs, about other stuffs. That's it.
All right, Ravi, it was nice interacting with you, and all the best for your academy and your future.
Thank you
all
so
right
much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ravi. All right, friends, as we have discussed that we keep coming out like this with our other recommendation series and stories, so we'll hold up with more episodes like this. Stay tuned and keep supporting us. Thank you.